It's Tuesday night in the UK, and it's a bit of a quieter period for boxing on the UK scene in general. We've recently had James Degale go out and win the world title against Degale. We had the pay-per-view card last week, Selby, Mitchell, Joshua, Brook. Now looking at the forecast going, for the next period, I know we've got the Miguel Cotto fight this week, but it's a slightly quieter week all in all. I forget we had Amir Khan last week as well. It's a slightly quieter week, so possibly not as many videos going to come out this week as there was last week, just on the basis that there isn't so many headlines to discuss. But one thing I did want to talk about briefly, and I've been planning this video for a while, was Froch. Now, this video is one of these videos that I sometimes do that doesn't really have a point in terms of, there's not an end goal. I'm not looking to discuss a specific fight. It's more just like an observational piece, if you like, about Froch, the man, the legend, the international superstar. Now, if you're a fan of the Daily Mail in the UK, you'll have read today that Froch is seriously considering coming out of retirement to teach James Degale a lesson, to test himself against Gennady Golovkin, or, alternatively, to fight Joe Calzaghe in a street fight. All fights that I would pay to see. Froch, I have long said, and if you go back and check any of my previous Froch videos, you'll see me commenting on this, that Froch was never going to retire. There's a few reasons why. I've talked about this in more detail elsewhere, so I'll keep this brief. Number one, it's a financial thing. Froch has fought his whole career being underpaid. He's fought his whole career being an underappreciated fighter. Some of the big matchups he was in, Jermaine Taylor, John Pascal, I've heard he was making 100 grand, 200 grand for those fights. It is only very recently that he started earning the big money. Mikhail Kessler 2, George Groves 1, George Groves 2. And in fact, it's only in that last fight, George Groves 2, that he earned a superstar fee. Now, my suggestion is that Froch has probably earned more in his last 3 fights than he has in the entirety of his career combined. I don't think a sensible business decision is to retire at the peak of your earning powers. I understand there's other issues involved, age, health, legacy. But if you spent your whole life working towards a certain goal, financially, when you got there, would you just retire? Or would you not want to milk it for 2 or 3 fights and enjoy the fruits of that labour? I never thought financially it would make sense to retire. When Froch could probably make as much money for fighting someone like Degale or Golovkin. He could probably make 20 times, 30 times, 40 times what he made fighting John Pascal in those fights right now. But more importantly, what I wanted to talk about, the other reason he was never going to retire in my eyes, was the ego. And I like the ego, which I'll come on to in a second. But Froch is a guy who's very celebrity-minded in my eyes. You'll notice he always wants to do sort of magazine articles in the UK. He's keen to forward himself a career in commentary. He's appeared on at least one, but I think more than one, reality TV style show. I believe he did some sort of ice skating or dancing or something like that. I didn't watch it. But this is a guy who is keen on having a public profile. He is. And it wouldn't surprise me if in 3 or 4 years' time we see Froch in the celebrity jungle or in Big Brother or something like that. But my point is, Froch is finally being appreciated in the UK. He's now being known as like a real decent celebrity boxer, like a David Hay or an Amir Khan. Previously, he hasn't enjoyed that status. So put simply, I think Froch has worked his whole career like this. And he's gone like this. And now he's up here. I don't see him retiring. I just don't. I think he's got to enjoy that peak for a little bit more, financially and celebrity-wise. Sorry, just need a bit of refreshment. Now, It's the latest sponsor of the Boxing Gossip channel. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about is Carl Froch's recent WWE style villain, heel turn, however you want to call it. I'm a massive fan of what Carl Froch has been doing recently outside the ring. For me, it is pure entertainment. I love it when Carl Froch is on Sky commentary and he's talking about himself. I absolutely loved it when he told Mayweather about how he knocked out George Groves in front of 80,000 people. I adored it when he said he wanted to have a straightener with Calzaghe on the street. You know, for me, maybe it's because I'm very immature, maybe it's because I'm not a proper boxing fan, I don't know. But for me, this is pure entertainment. Yeah, I've always liked sort of trash talkers, and the way Carl Froch is going at present is so... You know the sort of villain on WWE who takes himself so seriously, like, yeah, ridiculously seriously, and just thinks they're the best thing since sliced bread. He's almost taking up that mantle at present. Now, Eddie Hearn will tell you it's because he's actually quite bright and is taking the piss out of the British public, and it's his sense of humour. That may well be the case, and if that is the case, it's certainly working for me because I find it hilarious. But it could be that, or it could be that he's just particularly egotistical and not afraid of praising himself, you know. It's one of the two. Either way, it's sort of absolutely fascinating how strongly he is feeling the urge to forward his own resume recently, and yeah, the way he talked with Floyd Mayweather, and it's quite funny. I think Floyd turned to Carl Froch. He said, "That's a great champion over there," and you saw Carl Froch just grinning. It was like, you know, like if you, I don't know, imagine a teacher at a primary school tells a 5-year-old he's done a good piece of homework, and the 5-year-old is so proud. Or like a small child scoring a goal in football and they're just so happy with the world. Like, when Floyd Mayweather said that, Carl Froch was grinning like a Cheshire cat. And then he starts telling Floyd about how he trained and how he knocked out George Groves in front of 80,000 people. It really is comedy gold. And it's interesting. I think Carl Froch he's certainly a character. And it's, you know, people hate him for it. You know, what I do tonight, I was watching the boxing this weekend, and because, you know, it was a bit dull, I think it was that Scotty Cardle fight or something, I just did a Twitter search, Froch, and all the stuff that's fun, you know, was coming up, like, Carl Froch is going to Cobra Paulie Malignaggi if Malignaggi keeps talking, like, he's stealing Froch's limelight, and like, why is Froch wearing that earring again? You know, Froch is an international superstar, but he's only got one suit. You know, it was the banter and the sort of hate that emerges about him really gets me. I can't explain why. I find it really, really humorous. And when he said, like, to IFL TV, when he said Martin Murray wouldn't, you know, Martin Murray went 11 rounds with GGG. Martin Murray wouldn't go 11 rounds with the Cobra. George Groves has been cobra'd. Yeah, I was literally in stitches. I absolutely loved it. Now, I guess it depends what your point of view is and what your line of thought is on this. But for me, I love it. I think it's comedy gold. I think Froch is here to stay. I think the ego is there, the earning potential is there, the celebrity is there. And I don't think after a career of being underpaid and underappreciated, he's ready to give it up just now. The Joe Calzaghe thing is very entertaining. I think the risk with Froch bringing up Calzaghe is, let's be real, Calzaghe Froch is never going to happen in a boxing sense or a street sense. And the difficulty is that leads to constant conversations about who's a better fighter or who's got a better resume or who'll go down as the all-time great out of Froch and Calzaghe. I know it's a controversial topic, but in my opinion, at least 90% of people would say Calzaghe goes down as the bigger all-time great. And I'd certainly class myself as one of that 90%. So in my mind, Froch would almost do well to stay away from the Calzaghe talk because it's going to lead to those constant comparisons. But the GGG fight is very interesting. The James Degale fight is very interesting. I'm guessing we're moving in the direction of Golovkin, not Carl Froch. Just very briefly, and I know I'm kind of rambling here aimlessly, but I just watched the video Dwyer did on Froch Golovkin. Dwyer did 2 videos actually. I'm referring to the second, more recent video Dwyer did. And he made some very interesting points about how everyone tries to fight Floyd Mayweather by pushing him back, by squeezing him up against the ropes. And it's absolutely your worst mistake because it plays to Floyd's strengths. Whereas everyone fights Gennady Golovkin backing off because they're scared of his power. And actually that plays completely to Golovkin's strengths because it allows Golovkin to march forward and Golovkin to unload. Now I actually very much agree with Dwyer there. I think that was a spot on point by Dwyer. And although Dwyer picked Golovkin over Froch, which is again something I disagree with, I think that is a really solid point he made. All these people are backing off Golovkin, trying to outskill him on the back foot, Martin Murray, Willie Munro Jr., because they can't handle his power and they can't live with him in the pocket. But I think the guy who's actually going to have success against him is the guy who brings it. I mean, look at the success Willie Munro Jr. had in round 4. Let's be honest, Golovkin is no defensive wizard. He's also quite small. If Carl Froch can be that person who doesn't try and box him off the back foot, doesn't try to outmove him, Carl Froch can be that person to come forward, to work his body, to rough him up on the inside. Perhaps that takes away the smaller man's relentless approach and relentless come forward style. And perhaps that tests out another side to Golovkin's game, his back foot game, his defence, areas that we haven't seen proven at as high a level of his offence. So I think that's a good video by Dwyer, and although I disagree with his conclusion, I think it's an interesting discussion as to how he gets to that conclusion. Froch Golovkin would be my preference. I'm a huge fan of Froch Degale as well. Either of those, fascinating. I think it's more likely Froch faces Golovkin. And I think if he wins that, Froch will look to fight the winner of a George Groves, James Degale fight. I could see him doing that. And I think he'd be confident of beating both men there. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough about this. I did warn you at the start of the video, it's more a sort of discussional piece rather than a specific fight with a specific conclusion. But keen to discuss Carl Froch. Thanks very much for watching.